extra mile. And that number 7 right there, let's keep an eye on him. Let's see if he can get a start out in front of the 23. Look at this lineup, the number 2, his teammate right next to him. What are they going to do with it? All the way down the straight. Who can get in front? It looks like the 9, the 94, and the 51. None of who we were looking at when the gate drops.
Yeah, and I'll tell you,
I like it.
Tonight's going to be crucial for the 94 of Ken Roczen. You know, he got a pretty quiet fourth last week in Tampa. Just what he needed to rebound. And,
and if you think people are criticizing Tomac's 5th, just think what they're doing to Ken Roczen with a 4th. That's pretty darn good.
I know, right? The expectations that everybody has for guys like Kenny and Eli, it's tough, right? But, hey, they've earned that criticism, I guess. I guess you'd rather have it that way than just be thrilled with a 5th if you're Eli. So
it's lonely at the top, baby.
It is lonely at the top.
I wouldn't know. I've been told. I've heard. You would know. Although when you won Daytona, it wasn't very lonely. The whole world opened up and was stoked and very excited for you. And I'm sure it was a nice time. But right now, Jason Anderson, go ahead.
Well, speaking of excited, I'm excited about the 9. His speed has been better than qualifying inside the top 5. You mentioned, Wygant talked to Dan Fahey over there at Monster Energy Kawasaki earlier today and said how thrilled they are with Adam's progress and just finishing these races. The one thing I will say, though, it's really, really difficult to not ride 100% all the time. And that's what Adam has always done. And he's obviously one of the fastest guys in the world, reigning here 250 champion in his day, motocross in the outdoors. And then he comes to the 450 class with so much speed. I mean, there was one point where he qualified fastest like 8 weeks in a row or something like that, but he could never seal the deal on a main event win, which we all know how tough that is, racing these guys, the Tomacs and Webbs and Roczen. So excited about his progress. Adam's a great guy, knows so much about the sport, and a fan of the sport he is. So excited to see him back up there. The sport's better with him in it, and he's got so much speed and so much skill. A lot of personality as well.
Yeah, he sat in your seat before, Daniel's seat before, and helped us here on the broadcast last year. Did a great job when he was injured. And I asked him about a championship bid, or after, hey, any thoughts about being a commentator? And he said, no, man, I got to go out and win a championship first. And if that's tempered this year, that is the ultimate goal for him, of course, of any racer at the top of the 450 class. But I think particularly for him, there's a lot of expectations on the number 9, and he wants to live up to them for them and himself.
I think if you're Adam, though, you just got to tick the boxes, right? You got to finish all 17 first. If you don't finish all 17, you'll never win a Supercross championship. So start there. Then you got to win a race. Start with, like Chase. We talk about how, potentially hard everyone's being on it, but it's so difficult. He's the fastest guy in the sport, I believe, right now. Qualified fastest so many times. He just hasn't been able to seal the deal that much when it comes to the main event. So excited to see Adam's progress. Chase looks like he's on a fast one here. Let's see if he can bump Tomac out of the number 1 spot. Tomac's got a 107.3. I noticed Tomac did a different rhythm lane in that section before the finish, too. So keeping an eye out on that section. He did go quad out. He actually rolled the first one and went single over the tabletop instead of going on. So let's see what Chase does when he gets over there. AC to the top.
AC 9, handling it. Yeah, so Chase Sexton, we talked about what's going on with him and how he feels about these crashes that are happening towards the end of the race. At the press conference, he was very clear about this. I'm going to do whatever it takes. This is what he said, I quote, I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. If that's crashing late in the race, trying my best, that's what's going to happen.
You got to have that mindset now, because I think he was riding a little bit tentative. He's got criticism before about going down late. So now it's like, you know what? If it happens, it happens. I'm just going to go for it, because if late in the race, if you start to ride a little bit cautious, if you stick to those one lines that he's just stuck to the past several weeks, then mistakes will happen. But if you just ride loose, ride off instincts like this guy does, Tomac is riding off his instincts constantly. He's proven to himself time and time again that that's what works. That's what Chase has to do. And Chase goes to the top with a 106.0 on that last lap. Incredible lap time. Once again, over a second better than anyone else. And I just can't begin to express how hard that is to be that much better than the best guys in the world.
So we are looking, it looks like the number 94 of Ken Roczen on that Progressive X-Star Suzuki, trying to do some adjustments out here and change it up. What are they doing, bud?
Well, unfortunately, it goes back to...
Not to put you on the spot.
Beginning of the season, Kenny hasn't had much time with the team.
Right.
Hasn't had much time
and the bike. Very little time on the bike. It's been years since he rode a Suzuki, right?
And there's not much development on that motorcycle in Supercross, so he's constantly testing. He's testing so much during the week. I mean, there's days that I'll talk to him and he's at the test track till dark. And he's not afraid to put in the work, but then you come to the race and hopefully you're within a window where you could maybe just click, a couple clicks here and there. But I think for Ken right now, he's searching for a little something on the motorcycle that he hasn't found yet, and he'll continue to try and find that as the days go on and as this day goes on, and try and get the bike to where it needs to be for the main event.
AP7 in the press conference, people are asking, what'd you do different this week leading up to that podium? And he said, I just did my motos this week. If it wasn't for that red flag last week, which happened, of course, with when he was in Houston, it would have been a different story. I had good flow in Houston. Well, he had good flow in Tampa, too. I don't know if anyone has better flow in qualifying than this guy right here.
Yeah, Tomac closed the gap a little bit. He's only half a second behind with a 106.5 to Chase's 106.0.
There it is.
AC third. Craig. I like Craig tonight, Dan. I think he's going to have a breakout night. All these whoops.
Great in round one, yeah.
He's got some incredible whoop speed. When we talk about Cooper Webb not being good at qualifying, he's in the top 5.
Yeah, we talk about the confidence boost that you get like AP7, and what about for Cooper Webb? That's got to be a huge confidence boost, right?
For sure, and because he knows it's not his strength. So if he's even close in qualifying, he's got a lot of confidence going into the main. But he doesn't even need that. We talked about it earlier today. The skill that he has, the mental fortitude, and just his attitude going into that main event. He's just such a warrior. Let's see Chase here. Oh, and this is that triple there. He's just going to go on off. Let's see if this one's any better. No. He's got 106.0, 106.032. So his last one's a 106.084. So almost identical, and still made that mistake. So Anderson up to 106.5.
Hey, there's your guy. There's your guy.
Oh,
he likes it here.
A little detour. Where are you going, Benny? Track's over here. Benny's been riding good, though. Yeah, talk about riding good.
Dude, unreal. I mean, he said he put a lot of emphasis on whoops in the offseason. I think that showed. And then regarding his motivation coming out of Tampa, he said once you get that first win of the season, it kind of changes everything. And he joked, he says, I'm a big odd guy. I'm an odd year guy. So he won his championship in 19. Skipped a year, won his championship in 21, skipped a year. Here we are in 2023. It's an odd year, so he thinks that's a good omen for him.
I guess whatever you have to tell yourself, right? It looks like it's working. So the interesting thing is his number on his bike is an even number. So we can debate that all day, right, about the numbers game. The reality is he's just a great rider. He's a gamer. They've got the bike where he needs it. I think that's a big thing. There was a new motorcycle last year for the KTM guys, and
hard adjustment.
Really struggled with it, in the first year when they change bikes like that, the next generation bike is always pretty tough to get sorted out. Not for this guy though. Eli Tomac, new bike this year, comes out firing at Anaheim 1, wins the race. So kudos to Yamaha and those guys over there. They had it figured out. But back to Coop. Yeah, the bike's where he needs it to be. And the good thing about Coop is he's hard on his team, right? But once they get it right for him, he takes credibility. He takes it upon himself to say, yep, it's where it needs to be.
It's on me.
Now it's on me. And I think that's good because a lot of guys will just continue to search. But once he gets it right and he doesn't win, doesn't blame the team, just says, you know what, I need to be better.
Take a look at Eli Tomac here in third. That 106.593, him and Jason Anderson real close together and creeping into Chase Sexton territory.
Yep, half a second off of Chase, which is still a decent amount of time.
I agree.
I think
but
at
still,
this point, Chase doesn't really care. They don't really care how far off they are. They said, you know what, we're going to focus on the heat race we have coming up and the main event later tonight. Because look, that's where it all counts, right?
20+1 is the key, and that's the talk with this guy, the 23. If he gets out in front, can he get out in front early? He's even faster now. Here he is, Chase Sexton in Chase Sexton fashion, 105.771. The numbers don't lie. Chase is fast, baby.
He is fast. He's been fast. Just has to close the deal, which he can. We know he can. Yeah, incredible on this track to be that much better than those guys. Anderson, 106.2, not too far off. This is a great track for Jason, I believe. It's going to break down, and he'll typically, look outside the box and find different lines, especially as the main event goes on. Let's see what Kenny does here through the whoop, see if he's feeling any better. His bike is in a spot that he likes. He's 13th right now, which isn't typical of Ken. I'd like to see him more towards the top 5 of guys he should be racing with, in my opinion. Looks like he's resorting to trying to jump both sets of whoops, which, you know, Kenny's one of the best in the world, in my opinion, at skimming across the whoop, so maybe he's just still a little bit uncomfortable, or maybe he's just searching and being smart for later in the main of what's going to develop.
7.51 of Josh Hill up there in 18th place. He was running a 1:10. He picked it up right there and moved up into 16th, so getting faster. Josh Hill, 1:10, 1:39, nicely done. 47 of Freddie Noren in the mix as well right now in 19th in this round. We'll see what he can do. I was talking to Clinton Fowler, and he said Cooper Webb won 15 times in his championship seasons, 9 of them between rounds 6 and 13. Does he start that streak tonight, or at least keep it going, which he started in Tampa? But it is Chase Sexton with yet again another fastest qualifier. AC9 still has yet to come in. CC28 and Colt 40.